Chaos, panic, tears. The entire Harris family has been thrown into an emotional whirlwind after shocking news broke from inside a Georgia detention facility. King Harris, the outspoken son of hip-hop legend T.I. and Tiny, has reportedly miraculously woken up in the hospital after being left unconscious following a brutal attack behind bars. Sources close to the family say it was nothing short of a miracle, and that T.I. himself collapsed in tears the moment doctors said the words, "He's awake." The internet is on fire. Fans are flooding social media with prayers, theories, and outrage, asking the same haunting question: what really happened to King Harris inside that jail cell? Some say it was a fight gone wrong. Others whisper it was a setup. And now, with rumors swirling that T.I. is ready to go to war for his son's justice, tensions within the Harris household have reached a breaking point. In a story filled with betrayal, redemption, and shocking revelations, tonight we're diving deep into what insiders are calling one of the most emotional moments in hip-hop family history. Because when King Harris opened his eyes, the truth started to unravel. Stay tuned. This story is just getting started. The night was heavy with tension, the kind that sits in your chest like a weight you can't shake off. Outside the hospital in Atlanta, flashing lights from news vans painted the streets in chaos. Fans gathered in crowds, chanting King Harris's name, praying, crying, demanding answers. No one knew what had really gone down behind those cold concrete walls of the jail. But one thing was clear. King's life had hung by a thread, and the world was watching every moment of it unfold. Inside the hospital, T.I. sat slumped in a chair, his face buried in his hands. Tiny stood next to him, trying to hold it together, but her voice trembled every time she spoke. "Tip," she whispered softly. "They said he moved his hand." The doctor said it's a good sign. T.I. looked up, his eyes bloodshot. "I don't believe it till I see it," he muttered. "They told me my boy might not wake up. Now they saying he did? I need to see him, Tiny. I need to see my son!" Doctors rushed in and out of the room like soldiers in a battlefield. The smell of antiseptic filled the air. Fans outside screamed as a rumor spread that King was awake, but no confirmation came from the family. It was chaos, online and offline. On social media, hashtags like Dog should pray forking and Bosh justice forking started trending. Fans posted old clips of King laughing, rapping, and arguing with his dad. "This kid didn't deserve this," one tweet said. "Somebody set him up." Another read, "Where was security? How did this even happen?" Meanwhile, inside that quiet hospital corridor, a storm was brewing. A nurse appeared at the doorway. "Mr. Harris," she said gently, "your son is stable now." "He's awake, but weak. Only 2 visitors for now." T.I. didn't wait for another word. He shot up from his chair and pushed past the nurse. His heart raced with fear and relief all at once. Tiny followed behind, clutching a small chain with a cross on it, King's necklace that the police had returned from the scene. When they entered the room, King lay there with bandages around his head and bruises along his jaw. His eyes fluttered open, unfocused at first. His voice came out as a faint whisper. "Dad?" T.I. froze. His lips trembled. For the first time in years, the man known for his strength, his pride, his unbreakable confidence, broke down completely. Tears rolled down his face as he took his son's hand. "Yes, son. I'm right here," he said, voice cracking. "You scared the life out of me, boy." Tiny sobs filled the room as she kissed King's forehead. "Thank God you're here, baby." "Thank God." But as the emotions swelled, King's expression shifted. Confusion clouded his face. "Why am I here?" he asked. "What happened?" Ty looked at him with hesitation. "You got into an altercation in jail. They said it was a fight." King's eyes darted away. "It wasn't no fight," he muttered weakly. "They jumped me. It was supposed to look like a fight, but it wasn't." Those words hit like a thunderclap. Tiny gasped. "What you mean they jumped you? Who?" King tried to sit up, wincing in pain. "I don't know their names, but they knew me. They said something about my dad. They said I thought I was untouchable." T.I.'s jaw tightened. Rage flickered in his eyes. "They came for you because of me?" he said, barely above a whisper. King nodded slowly. "One of them said I was payback. I don't even know what for." The room went silent except for the faint beeping of the heart monitor. Tiny covered her mouth, shaking her head. "Tip, this can't be happening. You think somebody really—" "Yeah," T.I. cut her off sharply. "Somebody did this on purpose." Meanwhile, outside that hospital door, cameras clicked, microphones pointed, and reporters shouted questions that no one dared to answer. Fans on Instagram Live were spreading rumors faster than wildfire. One video claimed that T.I. had already confronted the jail warden. Another said that Tiny had fainted when she first heard the news. The line between truth and fiction blurred as the story spiraled into national attention. Hours passed. T.I. refused to leave his son's side. But behind those walls, he was planning something. He kept pacing, phone in hand, calling old contacts, asking questions he didn't want to ask in public. Who was on duty that night? He demanded in one call. Find out who got transferred after the incident. Something ain't adding up. Tiny begged him to rest. Tip, please, you can't lose it now. King needs peace, not more drama. But T.I. shook his head. Nah, baby. They came for our child. I can't sit still knowing that. As dawn crept in through the blinds, King drifted back to sleep. Nurses adjusted his monitors. Tiny leaned against T.I.'s shoulder, exhausted. For a moment, there was quiet. But the peace didn't last long. Around 9 a.m., T.I.'s phone buzzed again. A call from someone he hadn't heard from in months. It was a former associate, a man who once handled security for one of T.I.'s clubs. Tip? The voice said low and uneasy. I heard what happened, and I think I know who's behind it. T.I.'s grip tightened on the phone. Talk to me. You remember that business deal a while back, the one that went sideways? The people you turned down? They didn't forget. Word is they wanted to hurt you where it hurts the most. Ty stood frozen, staring at his son's sleeping face. You telling me this was retaliation? That's what I heard, the voice said. And if that's true, they're not done yet. The call ended, but the damage was done. T.I.'s mind raced. His past, the choices he'd made, the enemies he'd created, all of it came rushing back. Tiny noticed his silence. Tip, what's wrong? What did he say? T.I. hesitated, then lied. Nothing important. Just folks talking. But deep down, he knew the storm wasn't over. Outside, paparazzi shouted as more celebrities posted messages online. Rapper Boozy wrote, "Prayers up for King. Stay strong, lil bro." Another post from Zonique, King's sister, read, "My baby brother a fighter. We not letting the devil win." Inside the hospital room, emotions swung between relief and dread. T.I. kissed King's hand and whispered, "I got you, son. I promise I'm gonna find out who did this. You son. I promise I'm gonna find out who did this." But what T.I. didn't know was that the truth was even darker than he imagined, and that someone close to the family already knew more than they were saying. As the sun climbed higher and the cameras outside the hospital kept rolling, one question echoed louder than ever. Was this just a jailhouse brawl gone wrong? Or had the Harris family been pulled into something much bigger and much more dangerous than anyone realized? And at that very moment, a shadow figure in a black hoodie stood across the street watching the hospital entrance, phone in hand, whispering into the receiver, "He's awake. Yeah, I saw T.I. go in. We gotta move fast before he finds out." And just like that, the story was far from over. It was only beginning. The next day broke heavy and slow, like the world itself was holding its breath. The hospital parking lot was still swarming with press, fans, and people claiming to be close to the family. Every hour brought a new rumor, that T.I. had confronted the sheriff, that Tiny was threatening to sue the jail, that King had named his attackers. Most of it was noise. But somewhere in that chaos, the real danger was quietly circling closer. Inside King's hospital room, a tense calm hung in the air. The machines beeped steadily. T.I. stood by the window, phone in hand, scrolling through messages from friends and strangers alike. "Stay strong, Og. You raised a fighter. Don't let them silence you." He felt the love, but it didn't ease the knot in his chest. He looked back at his son, who was now sitting up slightly, eyes still tired but sharper than before. "You remember anything else?" T.I. asked quietly. King hesitated. "Just flashes. I was coming back from the showers and one dude started talking slick. I told him to chill and then boom, lights out. I woke up here." Tiny frowned. "But baby, if they wanted to fight, why'd they hit you so bad?" "The doctor said it looked like they meant to kill you." King's eyes dropped. "They did. I heard one of them say, 'Make sure he don't get up this time.'" The words hung in the air like poison. Tiny's hand flew to her mouth again. "Oh my God." Ty's breathing grew heavier. He turned away, fists clenching at his sides. "Nah," he muttered. "They don't get to touch my boy and walk away like that." "I don't care who it is." Tiny grabbed his arm. "Tip, don't start. Please, let the police handle it." But T.I. just shook his head slowly. "The police the ones that let it happen, baby." Before Tiny could answer, the door creaked open. Zonique walked in, her eyes puffy from crying, but her voice steady. "Hey, King. You scared us all to death, man." King managed a weak smile. Yeah, my bad, Nick. Zonique looked at her parents. I just got off the phone with somebody from Daddy's team. They said TMZ's already running the story but they twisting it. Saying King started the fight, saying it was gang-related. Tiny's eyes widened. What? No. No, they can't say that. T.I. grabbed his phone again. They not gonna play my son like that. Not today. He stormed out of the room before anyone could stop him. The hallway was lined with security, nurses, and reporters trying to sneak photos. His bodyguard Marcus caught up with him near the exit. Tip, where you going? To handle this, T.I. snapped. Ain't nobody gonna sit there and lie on my family. But Marcus lowered his voice. Listen, boss, maybe don't make no moves right now. The media watching everything. Let me make a few calls first. T.I. paused. You know something I don't? Marcus hesitated, then said quietly, Word is, somebody from inside the jail got paid off. And whoever did it, they still out there. T.I.'s eyes went cold. Paid off by who? Don't know yet, but it's deep. T.I. exhaled sharply, staring at the ground. All right, dig, find out who's behind it. I don't care what it takes. Back in the hospital room, Tiny was doing her best to stay calm. She held King's hand and brushed his hair away from his face. Baby, you're safe now, okay? You're not going back there. King shook his head. Mom, I can't just hide. Whoever did this still out there. What if they come for you or Dad next? Don't you worry about that, she said firmly. We'll handle it. But King's words hit her harder than she wanted to admit. She knew T.I. She knew once he smelled blood, he wouldn't stop until he got answers. Meanwhile, across town, a black SUV pulled up in front of a small warehouse. Inside, two men sat at a metal table. One of them, wearing a hoodie and dark glasses, scrolled through his phone, watching the news clip of T.I. walking out of the hospital. He's taking the bait, the man said. He's already making calls. The more noise he makes, the better for us. The other man laughed quietly. What about the kid? Thought he was supposed to be done. Doesn't matter. We got what we needed. The message is sent. Now we wait for the next move. Back at the hospital, a different kind of tension was rising. Zonique noticed her dad hadn't returned yet and whispered to her mom, Should I go check on him? Tiny nodded. Please. He's not thinking straight right now. Zonique slipped out, her phone buzzing with messages from friends and fans. Girl, is King really awake? I saw your dad trending again. What's happening? She ignored them all, heading down to the parking garage. But when she got there, T.I. was gone. Hours later, word spread that T.I. had been seen at the county jail, demanding to speak to the warden. Witnesses claimed they heard shouting from the hallway. Something about security footage. Something about missing reports. Y'all trying to bury this? T.I. was heard yelling. You think I'm gonna let my son's name get dragged while y'all cover your tracks? The warden's voice stayed calm, but his hands shook slightly. Mr. Harris, we're investigating. Please let the process. Don't talk to me about process. T.I. barked. Process don't leave my son in a hospital bed. He stormed out, ignoring the flashing cameras waiting at the entrance. The moment hit the internet within minutes. Clips of T.I. shouting played on repeat across social media. Fans split in two. Some praised him for being a father who cared, others said he was letting his anger get the best of him. T.I. losing it, one post read. He better chill before they lock him up too. But the chaos only deepened when King's condition took a sudden turn that evening. Alarms blared in the hospital room as nurses rushed in. Tiny screamed, What's happening? What's wrong? A doctor shouted, His heart rate's dropping. Get me the crash cart. Zonique grabbed her phone and tried calling T.I., her voice shaking. Dad, you gotta come back now. It's King. Something's wrong. By the time T.I. burst back into the room, the machines were blaring, and Tiny was on her knees praying out loud. Please, God, not again. Please don't take my baby. Please don't take my baby. After several tense minutes, the doctor looked up. He's stable again, he said, breathless. Just a reaction to the pain meds. We got him back. Tiny sobbed into T.I.'s chest while King slowly opened his eyes again, whispering, I heard someone in the hallway. They said he's not supposed to make it. Ty froze. Who said that? I don't know, King murmured. It wasn't a nurse. It was a man. That was the moment T.I. realized it wasn't just jail corruption or bad luck. Somebody was still watching them, even inside the hospital. He turned to Marcus, who had just arrived. Lock this place down. No one in, no one out. I want cameras checked, staff names, everything. Tiny's voice trembled. Tip, what's happening? Are we in danger? He looked at her with a seriousness that chilled her to the bone. I think we already are. As night fell again over the Atlanta skyline, The Harris family huddled together in that hospital room, surrounded by guards and fear. The whispers outside grew louder. The cameras flashed brighter, and somewhere, in the shadows beyond the hospital's glow, a car idled quietly with its headlights off. Inside that car, the same hooded man from before watched the windows and muttered into his phone, "Yeah, he's alive, but not for long if we do this right." And just like that, the game changed. The story wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about survival. The air inside the hospital had turned colder, heavier, as if the walls themselves knew something dark was closing in. Security had doubled overnight. Every visitor was checked, every nurse questioned. But despite the added protection, T.I. couldn't shake the feeling that danger was still close. Too close. He sat in a chair beside King's bed, eyes bloodshot from another sleepless night. Tiny sat across from him, holding a cup of coffee that had gone cold hours ago. The room was dim, lit only by the glow of machines that kept their son alive and the faint hum of the TV playing muted news updates. On screen, a headline scrolled across, "Exclusive. King Harris speaks for the first time. What really happened behind bars?" Tiny looked up, confused. What? Who leaked that? T.I. snatched the remote and turned up the volume. A muffled voice played over blurred footage. King's voice. But it wasn't from today. It was from before he was attacked. "People think they can test me because of who my dad is," the clip played. "I ain't nobody's kid in there. I'm me." Tiny covered her mouth. "Oh no, they're twisting it. They're making it sound like he provoked it." T.I. stood up, pacing furiously. "They got somebody on the inside feeding him this. I knew it. Somebody's trying to bury my boy's name before we can even tell the truth." Marcus walked in just then, phone in hand, his face tight. "Boss, we got something." "Talk to me," T.I. said. That night, the night of the attack, one of the guards left early. No explanation, no paperwork. "I tracked his car. He ain't been home since. But guess what? He used to work for someone connected to that old business deal you had back in the day." T.I.'s eyes narrowed. "You mean the same people that tried to hit me up about that nightclub thing?" "Yeah, same crew. And get this, the warden's cousin is married to one of them." Tiny stood up, her voice shaking. "You mean to tell me they were all in on this? That man's supposed to be protecting our son." Marcus nodded grimly. "They got paid off, Miss Tiny. It's all about money and power." Ty clenched his fist so tight his knuckles turned white. "Nah, this ain't about money no more. This is personal." King stirred weakly in bed, his voice barely audible. "Dad, Mom..." Tiny rushed to his side. "We're right here, baby." "It's okay," King swallowed hard. I remember something else." T.I. leaned closer. "What is it?" "There was a man. I heard him before they hit me," he said. "Send a message to the king." He laughed when he said it. "I thought he was talking about me, but now I think he meant you." Tiny froze. "Oh my God!" Jai exhaled slowly, anger and guilt twisting inside him. "They used my son to get to me." As he spoke, a nurse quietly entered the room to check the monitors. She looked nervous, avoiding eye contact. T.I. noticed instantly. "You new here?" he asked. She hesitated. I just started my shift," Tiny frowned. "Wait, where's Nurse Alicia? She was supposed to be on duty tonight." The nurse hesitated again. She went home early." Marcus stepped forward. "Show me your ID badge." The nurse's hand trembled as she pulled it from her pocket. Before anyone could react, Marcus grabbed it and frowned. "This badge expired 2 months ago." Everything exploded at once. T.I. jumped to his feet. "Who sent you?" he barked. The nurse panicked, backing toward the door. "I didn't come to hurt anyone." But Marcus moved faster, blocking the exit. "You better start talking now," her voice cracked. "They said if I didn't do it, they'd come after my family." "I was just supposed to switch the medicine. Make it look like an accident," Tiny screamed. "What medicine? What did you do?" The nurse shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "Nothing yet. I swear I couldn't do it. I was just waiting for my chance to leave." T.I. took a step forward, voice low and dangerous. "Who's they?" The nurse whispered a name that made both T.I. and Marcus stiffen instantly. It was the same person who'd threatened T.I. years ago, when he refused to invest in an illegal deal. A man known on the streets only as Bishop. "He said it's payback," the nurse cried. "He said the Harris family was going to feel what it's like to lose." Marcus grabbed his phone. "We need to move now. If Bishop's involved, he ain't going to stop till he finishes what he started." Tiny clutched King tighter. "No, I'm not leaving this room." T.I. looked at her, then at King, then back at Marcus. Get the car ready. We're getting him out of here. As Marcus left, T.I. turned back to the nurse. You disappear. Don't talk to nobody. If Bishop finds out you talked, you're next. She nodded frantically and ran down the hall, leaving behind only the faint echo of her sobs. Within minutes, T.I. had a plan. They couldn't trust the hospital. They couldn't trust the cops. So he was going to move his son somewhere safe, somewhere no one could reach him. Tiny, though terrified, didn't argue. Where are we taking him? She whispered. A safe house outside the city, T.I. said. Somewhere quiet. Marcus got people there. But as they prepared to leave, the situation spiraled again. The moment they rolled King's bed toward the elevator, the lights flickered. A loud pop echoed through the hall. Then darkness. Tiny gasped. What's happening? Ty shouted, backup power, now! Emergency lights flickered on seconds later, bathing the corridor in an eerie red glow. Marcus reappeared, gun drawn. Tip, we got company. 2 black vans just pulled up out front. No plates! They found us, T.I. muttered. Chaos erupted in the hospital. Alarms blared. Nurses screamed. Patients were ushered into rooms as the sound of boots echoed in the hallway. Marcus and 2 guards pushed King's bed toward the back exit while T.I. and Tiny ran beside him, hearts pounding. King was barely conscious, but whispered, Dad, what's going on? Don't worry, son. I got you, T.I. said, voice trembling with rage and fear. As they neared the stairwell, a shadowy figure appeared at the end of the corridor. Tall, broad, wearing all black. T.I. froze. Who the hell are you? The man didn't answer. He just smiled and said, Bishop sends his regards. Marcus fired a warning shot, but the man disappeared into the smoke from a nearby fire alarm. The hallway filled with the smell of burnt plastic and chaos. T.I. grabbed the bed, pushing it himself. Move now. They burst through the stairwell door and raced down 2 flights, hearts pounding in sync with the alarm. Marcus kicked open a side door that led to the ambulance bay where their SUV waited, engine running. Get him in, Ty shouted as they loaded King into the back seat. Tiny clung to him, whispering prayers under her breath. Marcus jumped into the driver's seat, slamming the door. Behind them, the hospital entrance exploded in chaos, men shouting, people running, sirens blaring. Marcus sped off, tires screeching. T.I. looked back at the flashing lights growing smaller behind them. They wanted a war, he muttered. Now they got one. Tiny turned to him, tears streaming. Tip, please, don't talk like that. We just need to keep our family safe. He looked at her, his voice low and certain. Safe don't exist no more. Not till I finish this. As they disappeared into the night, Atlanta burned with speculation. News outlets called it a possible security breach. Fans on social media said they'd seen T.I. fleeing the hospital. And somewhere in the shadows, Bishop's men watched it all unfold, smiling, because to them, the game wasn't lost. It was only just beginning. The SUV roared down the empty highway, slicing through the darkness of the Atlanta night. Rain began to fall in thin, silvery lines, tapping against the windshield like nervous fingers. Inside the car, the atmosphere was thick with fear and silence. King lay in the back seat, half awake, groaning softly with each bump in the road. Tiny held his hand tightly, whispering quiet prayers, her tears mixing with the sound of thunder. T.I. sat in the passenger seat staring straight ahead. His jaw was tight, his mind racing. Marcus drove with one hand on the wheel and the other resting near his gun. The city lights faded behind them as they approached the edge of town, a stretch of back roads leading to an old property T.I. owned years ago but never talked about. It was isolated, surrounded by trees and off the grid. Perfect for hiding, but also perfect for being found. Tiny's voice broke the silence. Tip, we can't keep running like this. We need help. Call the police, call someone. Ty shook his head slowly. The police are bought, baby. If Bishop got inside the jail, he got people everywhere. We can't trust nobody right now. But what if they follow us? Tiny whispered. What if they already know where we're going? Ty glanced out the window at the dark, twisting road. Then we'll be ready. As they pulled into the long dirt driveway of the safe house, the rain picked up, beating harder against the car. The old cabin sat in near total darkness, its wooden porch creaking in the wind. Marcus killed the engine and said quietly, We're here. I'll sweep the place first. He stepped out, flashlight in hand, scanning the perimeter. T.I. helped Tiny carry King out of the car, wrapping him in a blanket. The boy was weak, pale but conscious enough to murmur, Where are we? Somewhere safe, son, T.I. said softly. Just rest. Inside, the cabin smelled of dust and old memories. Faded photos still hung on the wall, reminders of a different time. Marcus returned a few minutes later. "Clear," he said. "For now." Tiny helped settle King on a couch near the fireplace while T.I. paced back and forth. "We can't stay here long," Marcus said. "Once they realize we're gone, they'll spread out. Bishop's not the type to let this go." T.I. nodded grimly. "I know, but I need time. I need to think." The storm outside grew louder, rattling the windows. King stirred again. "Dad," he whispered weakly, "why are they doing this?" "I didn't do anything." T.I. knelt beside him, his voice low and thick with emotion. "It ain't you, son, it's me. This is about something I should have handled years ago." Tiny looked at him sharply. "What are you talking about?" T.I. took a deep breath. "Bishop. Back in the day, before the club, before all this. I had a chance to work with him. He wanted to move money through my businesses, and I told him no. He didn't take that well. Made threats. I thought it was over, but it wasn't. He waited, and now he's coming after my family." Tiny's voice cracked. "So all this? King getting attacked? The hospital? The nurse? All of it was because of that man?" T.I. nodded. "Yeah. And he ain't stopping till I end it." The room fell silent, except for the crackle of thunder outside. Tiny wiped her eyes. "So what are you gonna do?" "I'm gonna finish what I started," T.I. said. "Bishop wants me, he's gonna get me. But on my terms." Before Tiny could respond, Marcus's phone buzzed. He looked down and his face changed instantly. "Boss, we got a problem," T.I. turned. "What now?" "They found us." Drones picked up movement on the back road. Black SUV, no headlights. "Probably Bishop's crew," Tiny gasped. "Oh my God." "Tip, we can't fight them here." "We ain't got a choice," T.I. said. "Get King downstairs." There's a basement." Marcus moved quickly, helping Tiny carry King toward the stairs. T.I. grabbed a pistol from his bag, the same one he'd promised himself he'd never touch again. He checked the magazine, loaded it, and stood near the window, watching as distant headlights flickered between the trees. The wind howled outside. The rain turned to sheets. The night was alive with tension. Tiny's voice echoed faintly from below. "Tip, please come down here. Don't do this alone." But T.I. didn't move. He stayed by the door, waiting. Every nerve in his body was on fire. Every instinct screamed danger, then a sound. Gravel crunching, car doors slamming, muffled voices. They were here. Marcus crept up from the basement and whispered, "2 outside, maybe 3, armed." T.I. nodded. "Stay low. If they come in, you take the left." For a few moments, nothing but rain and wind. Then the sound of glass shattering. A shadow slipped through the back door. Marcus fired once. The shadow dropped. Another man shouted, "He's inside!" Gunfire erupted. The cabin filled with chaos. Bullets splintering wood, smoke, shouting. T.I. returned fire, ducking behind the kitchen counter. Marcus yelled, "They're flanking left!" Tiny screamed from below, holding King tight. "Tip, please!" T.I. fired again, hitting one of the intruders who tried to rush the hallway. "You picked the wrong house," he shouted, rage breaking through his voice. Then, silence again. The rain drowned out everything. Marcus peered out the window. "They're falling back," he said quietly. "Must have realized we ain't easy targets." But before T.I. could respond, a voice echoed from outside. Calm, slow, familiar. "You always did like to make things messy." Tip T.I. froze. "Bishop?" The voice chuckled. "You should have just answered my calls back then. Could have saved yourself all this trouble." T.I. stepped toward the open door, gun still in hand. "You came after my son. You think I'm gonna let that slide?" Bishop's silhouette appeared at the edge of the porch, rain dripping from his coat. "It ain't personal, man. Business is business. You knew the rules." "Nah," T.I. said, stepping closer. "This stopped being business when you put your hands on my blood." For a moment, the two men stood face to face, lightning flashing between them. The storm roared, the world holding its breath. Bishop smirked. "So what now, hero? You gonna shoot me?" T.I.'s finger tightened on the trigger. But then he heard Tiny scream from below. "Tip, don't do it!" "Please!" For a split second, everything froze. The sound of rain. The smell of gunpowder. His son's faint breathing, then a loud crack of thunder. A gunshot followed. Bishop fell, clutching his shoulder, groaning in pain. T.I. lowered his gun, chest heaving. "That's for my son," he said. Marcus rushed forward, kicking Bishop's weapon away. "We got him." Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone must have called it in. Bishop's men scattered into the woods as the flashing red and blue lights approached. Tiny ran upstairs, trembling, and threw her arms around Ty. "It's over," she whispered. "Please tell me it's over." T.I. held her tight, his voice breaking. "Yeah, baby. It's over." But deep down, he wasn't sure. As the police arrived, T.I. was questioned, the cabin searched, Bishop taken away in cuffs. Fans online exploded with relief and confusion. Headlines flooded every platform. T.I. confronts attacker in dramatic standoff, King Harris safe. Days later, King was back in a private clinic, recovering. Tiny rarely left his side. Zonique brought flowers. T.I. stayed quiet, rarely speaking, eyes haunted. One afternoon, King turned to him, weak but steady. "Dad, we good now?" T.I. looked at him, forcing a small smile. "Yeah, son, we good. Ain't nobody gonna touch this family again." But when he stepped outside later that night, the wind whispered through the trees, and he saw a single black car parked across the street. Empty, but waiting. He stood there for a long moment staring at it, until it finally pulled away into the darkness. He whispered under his breath, "You come for mine again. I'll finish what I started." And somewhere out there, in the quiet after the storm, Bishop's name still carried weight. And the Harris family knew that even though the nightmare had ended for now, the fight for peace had only just begun. The storm may have passed, but the echoes of that night still linger in every corner of Atlanta, a city shaken, a family forever changed. King Harris's miraculous recovery after the brutal jail attack became more than just a story of survival. It became a story of strength, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond of family. Fans around the world continue to flood social media with love and support, calling King a true fighter, and praising T.I. and Tiny for standing strong through the darkest of times. But questions still hang heavy in the air. Who really ordered the hit? Was Bishop truly behind it all? Or is there someone else pulling the strings from the shadows? And now that T.I. has tasted vengeance, will he ever find peace? Or is this just the beginning of another storm waiting to rise? What's certain is that the Harris family won't be backing down anytime soon. They've faced heartbreak, betrayal, and danger. And they've come out the other side with fire still burning in their hearts. King is alive, recovering, and promising fans he's going to come back stronger than ever. T.I., meanwhile, remains silent, a silence that says more than words ever could. So now, it's over to you. What do you think really happened that night? Was this all a setup or just a series of tragic coincidences? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it, because this story isn't done yet. And if you've been following the drama from the start, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single update on the Harris family saga. Trust me, the next chapter might just shock you even more.